Greetings. My name is Nabil Diyaul, and today I would like to discuss my research proposal. The title of it is Investigating the Relationship Between the Rule of Law and Economic Development in South Asia, a Quantitative Analysis. The research question is, can a relationship between the rule of law and economic development in South Asia be established through a quantitative analysis? Now, we'll get back to the research question. At first, we need to find out what is the rule of law. The rule of law can be defined as the principle that everyone is held accountable equally under the law. Examples of the rule of law include judicial integrity, enforcement of contracts, and low corruption. What is economic development? Economic development is the process through which the well being, standard of living, prosperity, or wealth rises for the people of a particular country. Now, in the research question, why was South Asia chosen? South Asia was chosen because it would retain specificity and relevance. If there was a research about the whole world or all of Asia, it would lose specificity and relevance. And a quantitative analysis was chosen because it is the most objective method to figure out the relationship between the rule of law and economic development. Why is rule of law important and economic development important in South Asia? The rule of law is considered to be one of the most important prerequisites for the development of a nation because it encourages stability and leads to economic agents being able to conduct exchanges with each other with certainty. Meanwhile, and 15% of South Asia's population live below the poverty line, which translates to more than 200 million people. This highlights the desperate need for economic development, and it also shows that our research is important because if we can identify the factors behind economic development, we can improve it. What is the aim of the research? The aim of the research is to establish a link between rule of law and economic development in the South Asian context. Why is this research necessary? Most of the research on this topic focuses on the global perspective and ignores the South Asian perspective, and it's also outdated, with most of the research being carried out in 1990s and 2000s. Now, the key literature in this field belong to North, Nakan Kiefer, Chung and Calderon, and Barrow. What does this research say? The dominant theme that comes through is that strong legal institutions ensure economic stability, which seems to confirm the hypothesis that the stronger the rule of law, the greater the economic growth and economic development. What are the theoretical frameworks? These are neoclassical economics and new institutional economics. The quantitative methodologies used are panel data regressions, difference in differences, and time series data. And there are also gaps in the literature because it's outdated and it ignores South Asia. Again, as there are gaps in the literature, it also shows the necessity of our research. Now, what will be the research methodology to be used? We will use a regression analysis, which examines the relationship between one dependent variable and one or more independent variables. As collecting original data on such a multifaceted topic uh, is unfeasible, we will use data from reputable sources like the World Justice Project and International Monetary Fund. We will use the WJP index scores of South Asian countries and GDP PPP per capita. SPSS will be used for the statistical analysis. To conduct the analysis, rule of law index will be taken as the independent variable, while GDP PPP per capita will be taken as the dependent variables. The coefficients R squared and p value will have to be calculated. A high positive coefficient and R-squared value as well as p-value below 0.05 would indicate strong and statistically significant relationship. There are four phases in the project plan. These are gathering data, analyzing it, generating insights, and report writing. And the total cost will be $79 due to subscription of SPSS and will take maximum of 4 months. Now, what are the roadblocks and potential limitations? Any issue regarding accuracy of source data will certainly impact accuracy of the research. And there are limitations of regression analysis. It depends on certain assumptions, which could be invalid. It proves relationships, but does not prove causation. And as the small sample size of South Asian countries could lead to a greater chance of being impacted by outliers. However, this is a trade-off that has to be accepted in order to keep the specificity of it being a South Asian study. Now, what is the post-program plan? We will spread our findings in the academic journals and conferences, and uh, groups for whom the research may concern include other researchers and economists, government and policymakers, civil society. This also shows the necessity of our research because it shows how many people could use it. And if the research aim is fulfilled, gaps in the literature would be filled, and there would be a better understanding and bolstering of economic development. And thus, all of these factors show why our research is actually necessary. Thank you.